Movie number 4, License to Kill. You can spell it with a C or an S. Either way, it stars Timothy Dalton. One of his only 2 Bond films, came out in 1989. This is something I gotta pick a bone about here. The Rotten Tomatoes scores are 77 for critics and 59 for the audience. A 59, and I'm gonna argue that they're wrong. I think that this is one of the best Bond films, and I also just want to jump right into this topic here, because I think it's really important. This is probably the Bond film that should have the widest appeal. It's so similar to Lethal Weapon and so many of these other movies from the 80s. Why don't people like it more?
It's hard to explain. I mean, it's an A-characteristic Bond film. There's little in the line of gadgets. Doesn't wear a tuxedo for most of it. I guess it didn't meet audience expectations about what a Bond film should be, or maybe stiff competition, like you say, from other action films that year.
See, I argue that like they check all the marks. Like, we'll break these down a little bit later, more depth and stuff. But gadgets, we've got the signature gun, the Dentonite toothpaste, a bunch of other silly kind of things. We've got a Bond theme that sounds like a Bond theme. We've got 2 major women. They're both beautiful. He does wear the tux. He plays cards in it. You've got a villain who's awesome. You got these like sadistic deaths that happen in there. Like, what do these people want out of this movie? I don't get it. It's so good. It's one of my favorite ones. And anything stand out to you, Caroline, is like weird about this? Like, what was your first impression of this movie?
Well, I have to say, before I watched the movie, I saw the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. So I was kind of like, okay, let's do this, but not really expecting anything out of it. I thought I was going to hate it, but I actually enjoyed it. I feel like the main thing is that it didn't feel like a Bond movie so much for me. Like, it wasn't, like, the villain wasn't disfigured in any way. It wasn't like this elusive figure. It was like kind of like a drug lord. So, and talking about DEA, and it was set in the Keys for the most part. It wasn't like in a extremely exotic location for the American public, I think. I don't know, like, I can't really think why. And then I was also reading that some people are really upset about the violence in this movie. Sharks, hello, they're awesome. I don't understand. Like, they're the best deaths in the movie. But I don't know, like, it was weird to me because I actually liked it.
Violence is definitely a huge thing about this. It's the first Bond film that got PG-13. They've all been PG-13 after that, and that's partially because that's where PG-13 sort of started coming around. But easily the like most vicious deaths of Bond films. We got probably I would consider this the worst. I don't know about you guys, but Milton Crest. His head explodes.
Yeah, it expands before it explodes.
Right, and it sounds like a balloon popping. It's just like, that's brutal, dude. You get to see a guy's head expand and blow up, and blood goes all over the place. And it's like, oh man, like, every freaking villain in this movie, and even some of the heroes and stuff like that, they don't get a decent death at all. They are all getting ripped apart by this cocaine shredding machine, and a couple people die by sharks. You got even the good people like Truman Lodge. A decent guy, sorta. He just gets, a chest full of lead. I love Killifer's death, the old buddy. He loves that line, old buddy, by the way. I lost track of how many times he said it. There's a couple of times in that, though. But they play that one up for laughs with Sharky going, what a terrible waste of money. Yeah, is the violence too much, Alex?
No, I think it's just enough. I mean, it suits the story. Bond is working outside Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's a revenge story, personal revenge.
Off Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Original rejected title, off Her Majesty's Secret Service.
What about you, Caroline? just pushing it too far? Because I know
Nah.
you're into the horror stuff. Like,
Yeah, no, I loved it. Like, I got excited over it. Like, yeah, no, it's not. And I feel like I think like it was just a big deal because it was back then. I don't really think that would have been a big deal if it was now, to be honest. There are many more horror movies that are like PG-13 that people laugh about that have gorier stuff, and it's fine. So it's all good. I would say bring it more.
so one of the most violent parts about the movie, it kicks off the whole thing. Felix Leiter, who has been in many Bond films at this point, he is getting married to Della, and our titular, well, not titular, it's not, he doesn't have a license to kill. Sanchez, our main villain, he totally fucks up Felix's life. I mean, he takes away his leg, he takes away his wife, ruins his career, you were kind of assuming. I mean, it's like the end of the Felix Leiter storyline and whatever like that. Dark way to start off a Bond film, but before we get into the actual, like, stuff with Felix and whatever like that, I want to throw it out there that this was something that happened apparently in Live and Let Die, and they took it into that. Now, Live and Let Die, it's funny enough, the guy who played Felix Leiter in Live and Let Die is the same one who played him here. One of the only people, other than Jeffrey Wright now in these films, to play him twice. So that's a fun little trivia note there. I thought that was pretty interesting. I would actually say that he's probably my favorite Felix, other than maybe Jeffrey Wright, but do you have a favorite, Alex?
I like the Caribbean Beach Felix Leiter in Thunderball that has the sunglasses and the Hawaiian shirt, but
Jack something, I think.
Maybe Jack Lord.
A lot of people like him.
This is a great Felix.
You don't think he's too old, right?
Yeah, it's a little unbelievable that he's going to be jumping out of planes with gray hair, but, I'll buy it.
What do you guys think about Sharky?
Another in the long line of aquatic-themed black Bond helpers that meet a tragic end.
Yeah, it's
the
weird.
First one was in Dr. No.
Quarrel, right?
Yeah, Quarrel. Where does Quarrel Jr. in Live and Let Die?
Live and Let Die, yeah. Quarrel Jr. and Sharky. His name really was Sharky. One of our other heroes in this movie is actually Q. He's a field operative. This is the most that he's ever gotten to do in any of these films, and I actually really like that. I always loved Desmond Llewellyn as Q. He's by far my favorite Q. And it was cool to see him kind of like, get in the thick of things. And also it's funny, I didn't notice this until I was checking out the IMDb stuff on the trivia. Out of all the times that he keeps telling Bond, you got to bring this back in pristine order and stuff like that, he uses that rake, just throws it away. Q's a dick. It's so good. I love it. Let's talk about the gadgets. We're all talking about Q. Why not? Signature gun, they brought that back for Skyfall. Dentonite toothpaste. Love that, used sparingly. The explosive alarm clock, guaranteed never to wake anybody up who uses it. The laser flash camera, like, this is, it's classic Bond stuff. Does anybody have a favorite out of those that they like?
The toothpaste is very memorable.
The toothpaste?
Yeah, the toothpaste, I think it's like the coolest.
I love the toothpaste too. That's so good. Oh, we're making it universal. The toothpaste is the best one. Action sequences, we can talk about a lot of different ones. I just want to point out one of them, and then you guys can kind of bounce around here. But the random swordfish bar fight, I love how generic it was, where it's like two people start fighting, so everybody in the bar starts hitting each other. Are there any action set pieces that stand out to you guys?
The one piece that I like that is kind of dumb, and I'm almost 100% sure that it's not even real, but it's in the beginning of the movie when they wanna get the plane to, and I don't know what they're trying to do. They're trying to arrest the guy, but he's in the plane, and they try to take the plane with them as they're driving another plane. and the plane just kind of limps in the air after a while. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that that's not even, like, that wouldn't happen in real life, but I was like, yeah! I felt that they were both gonna fall. I don't know, but it was cool. I like that one. I know it's stupid.
I know Alex likes that scene, but for a different reason. He likes the quote at the beginning of it.
Sanchez in the Bahamas.
And the other one, too. The Michael G. Wilson one.
Oh, wait, what is it?
If they hurry, they might just be able to catch the bastard.
Oh. If they move now, they might just be able to grab the bastard. In terms of action set sequences, the tanker chase is pretty amazing.
And the ending of that with the giant flame of the genuine Felix Leiter.
Right.
The fact that it's like, you know, the flame goes up higher than it could possibly ever do. It's another brutal death. Getting set on fire, then blowing up with your own cocaine.
God damn.
You know, as one does.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to be in Rome, you know.
Yeah, typical Friday night for Sanchez. Lit on fire and blown up.
Cool thing about that tanker scene, for those who don't know, if you listen, the bullets that ricochet play the Bond theme.
Oh.
And
Weird, I never noticed that.
You never did?
No.
Oh, it's so cool. It goes, it's about like midway through it or something like that. It just goes ding, 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 ding. Cool little thing that they threw out there. I like that. Actually, you know what? That's going to bring us into the theme music and all the score and all that other kind of stuff. Gladys Knight sings the main theme, License to Kill.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best Bond
Love
themes.
it.
So good. It's so like, it's a theme that I appreciate so much more as time goes on. And I remember a couple months ago or something like that, I have about 4,000 songs in my collection. I like to put it on shuffle and just, you know, listen to whatever. And a lot of times I won't be in the mood for certain things. And, you know, I'll hit shuffle 10 times in a row before I get to some of these season. But I remember I'm like just kind of waiting for a good song to pop on, and License to Kill came on, and I was just really feeling it at that moment. And I was just like, God damn it, I would rank this probably in the top 5 Bond themes.
It's a great song. Her voice is just, so powerful.
I can't say the same about If You Asked Me To. The Patti LaBelle theme at the end.
I'm trying to remember. So many songs! So many beautiful black women singing.
Alex, what do you think about If You Asked Me To?
It's forgettable there at the end. I mean, coming off of Living Daylights, where they had an end title song, or a couple of different songs that are worked into the musical score throughout the piece, throughout the film. You know, it was like they built tension with having all these themes play, giving them the different characters. The song just kind of pops in there at the end. I don't even think it was written for the film.
I don't think so. There's a Celine Dion version of it too, but I really
It's
like the beginning of it. Remember the beginning?
No.
It's that do 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 kind of thing. That I really like. And then the rest.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the rest of it's like blah. But I will commend the Michael Kamen score. That's so good. I love that one. And it's weird too because they had John Barry for all these movies and stuff. They passed along to Michael Kamen for one film. Eric Serra comes back in GoldenEye. We'll talk about that in the next part and stuff. And then they went back to they kept David Arnold for a couple movies and stuff. I think Michael Kamen did a good job for this, and he might not have been able to do great Bond themes going forward. Maybe it was like a one-shot thing, but I like the score for Lethal Weapon, and I love the score for this too. I would rank this up high on the score list.
Well, I'm not familiar with the soundtrack of Lethal Weapon, but I did enjoy the soundtrack in this movie. I mean, I tend to like most of the soundtrack in the Bond movies we watch, to be honest. I'm not really picky about my music, I guess. But they never really take me out. They go with the action the way they should. And it feels really classic to me, which I appreciate because I don't think I'm ready to see like full on like techno music on a Bond movie or something crazy like that. Like I just like how classic he feels.
Don't watch For Your Eyes Only then.
Really?
It's a disco score.
Oh, well, disco. Okay.
It's fucking terrible. Alex, any thought on Michael Kamen?
It's a good score. There aren't very many memorable themes in it, but it complements the film well all throughout.
So let's move back into the villain side of things. Sanchez, one of my favorite villains. Funny guy. He's got a good belly laugh. He keeps making people laugh constantly in the movie. This guy tells jokes like it's his fucking job. Every meeting that they have, Sanchez basically walks along while Truman Lodge or Crest or Killifer or Heller or any of those other people, they're all like talking and going like Truman Lodge is kind of like, we distribute to this platform and we talk about this whatever, and he's like, the only thing we have to worry about is what to do with our money. He laughs more than any Bond villain, yet he's probably the most sadistic fuck out of all the Bond villains.
I love that. That's like a perfect combination.
And something I didn't know before, and I didn't read this until I read the trivia about this. When he whips Lupe, it's with a Stingray tail.
Oh. Ouch.
I never knew what it was, and it looks like it's on the end of a gun, too.
It's just like unnecessary.
I thought it was made out of plants or something because it's kind of greenish looking. I thought it was just some sort of rope with roots or something.
Yeah, I just thought it was like a garrote or whatever, like just like standard, noose sort of thing.
Yeah.
Stingray tail, just to make them like, even weirder.
I love it. All about it.
I guess it stings.
That's why you guys are friends.
Because of the stupid pun. I'm gonna throw two lines out there that Alex is gonna reciprocate with. I'm sure. Boatman Crest. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
And what's the proper response to "Goodbye, Mister"?
Or goodbye.
Drunken Milton Crest. You don't understand. It's not my money. I love that character. I thought it was cool. He's a total pushover,
He's fun.
And
I don't think you never see him drinking, but he's always drunk, but never drinking.
I think he drinks in one shot.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. Killifer and Heller, we can all agree they're just like, who cares, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the drug fundraising thing? Bless your heart.
That was terrific.
Yes.
I love the story behind it too, that they would use that as like their money laundering scam.
Totally. I think things like that in the film really hold up to this day. Like, it seems so sensible. You can imagine that behind those kinds of ministries, is money laundering, prostitution.
The whole movie, I think, is very reasonable.
Yes.
Like, this is a drug dealer who has a shit ton of money because everybody's into the drug trade. And we got that side plot where Hong Kong narcotics is like pissed that Bond's going to take it away from them, and Heller is somebody who is going to maybe sell some of the secrets to the government, and it's a wide, like, net of people that it casts and stuff, and it all makes sense. Like, even Dario is this young guy who got into the right gang and is just like that sick fuck kind of guy. So of course he makes his way towards the top. He's the dude that's willing to kill anybody and do some kind of stupid quips at the end. You're dead. Benicio del Toro. Is it weird looking at Benicio del Toro that young?
No. Oh, he's so sexy.
He's intense. He says a lot with his eyes.
He doesn't die really well, though. He gets shot, and it's just like, ugh.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all forgiven.
One of the worst deaths is him just being like, it's like, oh, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, Fucking Pam's just like, are you alright? And Bond's like, switch the bloody machine. God damn it, Pam. What do you guys think of Pam, by the way? Actually, one of the stories that I wanted to bring up here, or not one of the stories, one of the fan theories and stuff like that I had come across was that every Bond film that ends with a different actor ends in a way that it could be the series finale. Like, You Only Live Twice, he sort of gets married, and kind of like he takes care of Blofeld, and, you know, it's sort of like he's pretending to be dead, so maybe he gets away with it that way. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, you got the death of Tracy, he's left the business kind of thing. Roger Moore's final film, A View to a Kill, doesn't really apply that much to it, but he's just old as fuck and he has to leave. License to Kill, though, it ends with him with Pam, and they had thrown out the reference at Della's wedding where she says, did I say something wrong? And it's like, well, he was married, but it was a long time ago. I love that part. And it's like Bond kind of has found another person that he can be with. She fights with him, but, you know, kind of tests him in certain ways and stuff. The Pam character, would that be a good person for Bond to end up with?
Definitely. I mean, she holds her own against him.
Yeah, she's spicy. She's not a bimbo. She actually has more than 2 dimensions to her. So, yeah.
They really, I'll give them credit to this. We were talking before about the other films and how, like, sexist they are and how, like, Bond's smacking women to get information and all this stuff, which thankfully they don't do anymore because then nobody would be able to identify with the Bond character. And here's a good transition where instead of Bond doing that, Lupe's character falls head over heels for James, you know. But Pam, she's arguing, she's standing up for herself in a lot of ways. She's trying to take charge in different situations where it's just kind of like, you know, I saved your ass, that kind of a thing. They go a little bit overboard in trying it sometimes, but it's good to see somebody who's not just like a total bimbo like Mary Goodnight. Goodnight is just a disgrace to her gender compared to Pam. Lupe's kind of more on the normal Bond spectrum.
Yeah.
You know, do you guys think that Lupe... Here's something I wanted to bring up. They killed Della, they hurt Felix, they killed Sharky. And I said before that there should be people who die to make the stakes go up. I'm actually glad they didn't also kill Lupe. It's kind of different to see the girlfriend not have to have a terrible life and die afterward.
I agree.
Yeah,
and I kind of like how he ended, too, with the 2 girls are there. That's nice.
And Bond makes his choice?
Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
he goes for not the obvious choice.
I'd have gone for Lupe.
Oh, God. Come on.
Who would you have gone for, Alex?
That's a tough call. I don't know. I mean, I'd lean towards Pam.
Oh, fine, I'll take Lupe all for myself.
Lupe's kind of potato, though.
I'll eat that potato.
Okay.
It's a hot potato.
Oh, she got into the drugs. She might be a twice-baked potato.
Here you go. God.
Before we get into too many potato puns, let's wrap this one up here. Least favorite stuff, anything you want to throw out there? 0 to 10 scale, what would you rank License to Kill, Alex?
I'd give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Dalton, my favorite Bond, strong film, great script, very realistic, little to complain about.
Caroline?
I will give it 7.5. It was fun, but at the same time, I felt like you guys said realistic, holds up. Didn't feel so much like a Bond movie at times for me, but that's not a bad thing. Yeah, and Stingray whipping is my new thing now, so yeah.
I'm going to have to give that an 8 out of 10 too. It's definitely one of my favorite Bond films, and one of the very few that I think I could suggest to anybody if they're a fan of like action films, and they won't look at it and go, really, dude, you watch these type of movies? Because if you watch Man with the Golden Gun, as much as it's fun, they'd be like, you're watching films about a dude with a third nipple and a fucking midget, and I'd be like, no, just watch License to Kill, and then you can go back and watch the weird ones. So that's License to Kill, everybody. We're going to move on to our second to last one here. It is GoldenEye. Stay tuned. Click on part 5. Follow the normal schedule here. We'll see you with the 1995 film GoldenEye.